Hey y'all, this is 680's music reporter Rudy Blair. You know, when it comes to the Canadian music industry, there is nobody more respected when it comes to songwriting than DallasGreen of City and Color. You also know him too from Alexis on Fire. Now, this is a guy who, when it comes to the Juno Awards, his name is always there on that list in winning a Juno for songwriting, and I got a chance to sit down and talk to him about his new album, The Hurry and the Harm. But we also got a chance to talk about his past, Alexis on Fire, and his future, City and Color, and how the two almost destroyed his career and how he came out on top. So we're gonna get a chance to sit down and talk to one of the most respected songwriters in this industry, DallasGreen. Check it out.
When I think of fate's worse than death, all I can think of.
Last time you and I talked, it was over the phone.
Yep.
And you were heading over to the ACC to play for Leaf Nation because it was first game playoffs. You got a chance to perform down there, man.
Yeah, it was awesome. I mean, it was definitely an interesting vibe, you know, like to play in front of a crowd of people who are all dressed exactly the same. But it was cool. I mean, I'm a big sports fan, and like that was an atmosphere that has never. Toronto's never had that, you know, like because the last time the Leafs were in the playoffs, that whole Maple Leaf Square didn't exist, like that spot for all the fans to go and watch the game on the big jumbotron or whatever outside. So it was really neat to be the first band to sort of play the return of playoff hockey to the city of Toronto.
Now, did those fans get a chance to hear some of the new stuff? Because we're going to talk about the new album.
Yeah, I played 4 songs and I played 1 new song, and that's the song they aired on television too. So that was cool.
And that's Thirst.
Thirst, yeah.
Yeah, and we talked about that too because that's the perfect song for Leaf Nation, man. Because they are thirsty for a championship, man.
Yeah, and you know, obviously they didn't win that night, but they won the next night, and then I was at Game 3 2 nights ago and they lost. But it's great. The atmosphere around the city has just been nice. I think people are just excited about. You know, they're like you said, they've been thirsty for something, for some play, some competition.
Well, people are really excited at the fact that you are back. City and Color are back.
Wow.
New album coming out, The Hurry and the Harm. And it's been a while, man, because the last time anybody heard anything from you, Alexis on Fire, the retirement of the band.
Yeah, it's been a strange couple of years, I guess, or a year and a half. You know, I left the band and went on and made the last City and Color record, Little Hell. But you know, when I was making that record, I knew I had left the band, but no one else knew. So it was a strange sort of. I was in a really strange place because, you know, I approached that record like it was the first, like, here now. This is what I do now. I've left this band to go focus on this. So this has to be. I have to prove to myself and to everyone else that there's a reason why I've chosen to do this and this alone. But what I didn't realize is that I was the only one to. I was the only one who was able to think that way because we hadn't announced that Alexis was done yet. So then I went on and I made the record and I started doing things like this for it, and I wanted to be in this whole different place, but I had to lie about the fact that I wasn't in Alexis on Fire anymore, and that caused this really weird mental state, you know. And then finally, the news broke, and then I was able to talk about it, but I was already kind of messed up by then, and so subsequently the touring that went along with it was just a really, really strange time because I was starting to stand up for myself, you know. Like, I was so proud of this record I made, but then I had to stand up for myself, you know, trying to say why I left the band and stuff. But then thankfully we rekindled our relationship and we were able to do that final Alexis on Fire tour, which really closed the book in the right way, which none of us had a chance to do that beforehand. And I think once that was announced, I realized I had all these new songs, and then I went and made this record before the tour. And that was like, it was like I had a chance to then make the record I wanted to make beforehand. You know, okay, now everyone knows this is what I'm doing.
But that's got to be a scary thing when you are taking those kind of chances, because so many people are so used to Twitter, social media. Stories come out one way when you know the truth this way, and it could affect your fan base, and heck, it could affect you the way you write music or even deal with the music business.
Yeah, it was definitely strange, you know, because I think I thought I thought I would be able to deal with it because, you know, like I said, I knew I had made the right decision. But I didn't, you know, and I knew it was going to be a tough one. I knew it was going to be a difficult thing to say to the guys, I'm leaving to go do this, you know, because the thing is, we weren't breaking up because we hated each other. We weren't breaking up because we couldn't write any more songs. We weren't breaking up like most bands break up or end, you know, there's some sort of inner turmoil or whatever. We were literally breaking up because I decided that I needed to go do this other thing, you know, and that's a very difficult decision to make, to say to your best friends in the world, I love you, but I have to go off and do this for myself.
I need to get into that because is it hard for you to, I don't know, for people to understand you need to do things for you on your own? And when I say that, it's because it's like trying to explain the relativity of life when you know what it is,
right?
But nobody else can really understand to be in your head.
And especially when you're doing something like when you're making records and putting out music for people, not only are you asking them to support your creativity, but then you're giving them the chance to become so emotionally invested in what you're doing, almost where they believe that they are a part of your life. And to a degree they are, because without the people who listen, then I'm no one, I'm playing for no one. So me leaving Alexis on Fire hurt not only my friends, but it hurt a lot of other people because these people had grown up with us. They had invested all this time and love into this band that they felt like they were a part of. And, you know, we did our best to include everyone enough to the point where we told them that they were a part of our band, you know. So for me to leave that, and then so no one to understand, when I'm saying I have to do this because it's what feels right, people don't want that. That's not the answer they want, you know. They want, well, why can't you just keep doing both? You've been doing it for 6 years now, you know, and I would be like, well, because it's killing me, you know. It's driving me mentally insane. I can't go back and forth anymore. Like, this is where I need to be right now in my life.
Freedom? Is that what it really is all about?
It really is, yeah. It's freedom to write the songs that I want to write and not to have to worry about, are they going to be right? Are they going to fit one thing or the other? And that's what it started to happen, is I knew that my creative juices, or the creative side of my brain, was leaning more into this realm, into where the song could take on shape of whatever I wanted it to be. Whereas Alexis, I felt that we were going to start eventually running out of ways to take all of our inspiration and put it into the Alexis on Fire mold. Whereas with City and Color, I can really do whatever I want, or whatever I feel the need to do. If I want to play a banjo, if I want to play a distorted guitar, if I want to do a funky bass line, it can be that, because this is what I've created with City and Color.
Thirst.
Thirst.
What you just said there.
Right.
That, exactly.
Yeah, that's why I said it, because I remember we talked about it. You said you got, like, you know. But that's the freedom that I've carved myself, and I felt at this point I needed to take advantage of that, you know, because with what I do, you never know how long it's going to last, you know. The music business is a very fickle business, especially nowadays with how shortened the attention span has become with the availability of content, and how, I mean, it's sort of what the record is based on and what the name of the record is based about. But you have to strike while the iron is hot, I guess, you know. And I didn't want to continue on doing Alexis and squeezing in both, and I didn't want to end up resenting the years I had with these guys, knowing that there was this other side of me that I never got to explore. So that's kind of one of the main reasons why I left. And
are people understanding now that City and Color is you? Do you think from this album people can learn from that?
I think people will now. I think now that the sort of smoke has cleared, you know, and the fact that we were able to come back and do the last Alexis tour, celebrate it one last time with everyone, and also show to everyone that we were still friends, and, you know, we weren't just like, I think there's always going to be people that are upset about even the fact that I'm evolving and not just playing, it's not just a record full of me and my acoustic guitar, and the fact that I have band and full band songs, and the fact that there's like a song like Thirst, you know, will always aggravate somebody who wants me to just sit in the corner with my acoustic guitar. But I think enough people at this point in my career appreciate that I will always evolve. And I think that if you look at the music I've put out, like if you look at the fact that I came from a band like Alexis, and then made City and Color records, you need to realize that I've got a lot going on in my head when it comes to writing songs, you know?
So does this represent then, this is the new City and Color, this is the new DallasGreen? Is it almost like starting all over again and
Yeah.
not disrespect anything you did from the past,
Right.
but almost like saying, okay, here it is. Today is now day one.
Exactly.
Here's the album.
Yeah, I think what it is forever now, for the last 6 years, people have been trying to compartmentalize me into these different types of songwriters. Or there's this part of Dallas who does the Alexis, the angry thing, and then there's this part of Dallas who does the quiet, soft side. And now what I hope is that with this record, people will just say, well, it's Dallas. And we don't know what it's going to be. Maybe the next record will be just me and a guitar. Maybe the next record will be me and, you know, maybe I'll make a jazz fusion record. Probably not, but you know what I mean? Now, hopefully people will just take me as it comes.
Tour-wise, what's going to happen with this?
I'm going everywhere. Forever.
You were, because correct me, you were playing with opening up for Pink?
I did, yeah. I did that about a month, I guess 2 months ago now. That was lots of fun. It was a whole different experience, you know, because she's not only was it interesting to play in front of a whole different fan base, but to be able to watch her perform every night.
Oh yeah.
I think that in that world, the pop, you know, that world, I don't think there's a better performer than her. I think and I told her this many times, she gives it people more than they deserve. And I don't mean that as an insult, but like, she's going out there, first of all, she's actually singing, and singing well. But she's, you know, flying around, and she's giving you such a show, you know, just to get, you know, ripped apart by whoever's going to rip her apart on the internet or whatever. But I just think she's just such an unbelievable talent and performer. But it was a really interesting world to sort of jump into for a couple of days, you know.
The other interesting world too for you is, because the way City and Color is built now, you've got new players, but that can always change.
Right, that's the thing too. I can always sort of keep myself on my toes as well, and I think you need that. You know, you need to always throw yourself curveballs because then you don't get too comfortable. You know, because it would be easy for me to just say, oh, this is what I think people like. You know, people like this part of what I do, so let's just exhaust that. Let's just do it until it's dead. But instead of doing that, I always want to push myself. I always want to evolve. I always want to go out and, sometimes you want to have a bad show because it allows you to come back and have a much better show. You know, you don't always want it to be perfect. Like, it's the whole endless search for the perfect song, right? If as a songwriter, if you write the perfect song, then what do you have to look forward to? You know, you always want to be. I think you always want to be searching, and a lot of the record is about that, searching for something. I don't know what that is, and I probably will never find it, but I hope to always be getting better and to always evolve towards it. This is DallasGreen from City and Color, and the new record is called The Hurry and the Harm.